Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly editor-in-chief today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Pinnacle Entertainment's outstanding Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, and we are using their terrific Superpowers Companion to play our campaign of Savage Supers, set in the Great White North, featuring Canada's greatest super team, the Guard. And with me tonight are the stars of the Guard campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up is John.
Hello, I'm John, and I'm playing Blaine Staunton, aka Warlock, the Semi-Sorcerer Supreme.
Very nice. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Cygnus, the Dark Star of the North.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Mind Warp, and he is a psychic speedster.
Very nice. Now, guys, this is our first issue of the new year. We have a brand new thumbnail, which hopefully captures the superhero theme of our campaign. The last session was a interesting one. Lots of plans for how best to figure out what the White Witch is doing. What do you guys recall from last time? We opened with you guys running away from a angered or at least an awakened kaiju. Churchill, Manitoba, is no more thanks to the Lindworm.
I know we had a... I know after we dealt with all that, the discussion became, I think, where were we going to go next?
Yeah.
And then it became, we started doing some research and discovering more about the compass.
Yeah.
And we were looking to get more information about it, and we had identified 3 different people that could give us information on possibly how to destroy it.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember who the third one was. I know it was Archimedes.
Yep.
And Dr. D, wasn't it? Wasn't it John D?
There's actually 4. So.
Oh, there were 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that one.
Dr. Cryptic was one.
Yep.
There was Archimedes, who. What do you recall learning about him?
He was theoretically. He was involved in funding a lot of R&D type projects that never made it to market, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, there's... and I did learn, I rewatched our session, or at least listened to our session yesterday beforehand, too. I have great news, guys. I know you've all been edge of your seat for this. There is such a thing as a European company. So you can incorporate under EU laws, and you can incorporate under the different laws of the various member nations as well. So there we go. I know you guys it was gnawing at you. Kev, I want to know this particular of international business law. Don't worry. I got you covered.
Yeah, it always cracks me up seeing the initials. Like, I think, like in Germany, it's usually like GmbH or something.
Yeah, and I think it's SA in
SA,
at least
I see a lot.
Argentina. Yeah, because there was, I can't remember what game. Oh, it was our D20 Modern, the final session of our thing. It had a Argentinian company with a German name that happened to have been founded in late 1945.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, can't imagine what the backstory is there.
Yeah.
So the 4, you said there was 4. Yeah, Archimedes was one, and yes, it appeared when Cygnus did some cursory research. It did seem like there was the corporate equivalent of keeping a low profile. A lot of small companies that all seem to be interconnected to one another. all of which seemed to be involved with some aspect of the tech industry, but none of which that had any patents filed to their name, which suggested either they were fronts for some other reason or they wanted to keep whatever tech is in there absolutely secret, and we're concerned more with that than with any kind of patent rights that might come from filing. There was the spirit of John Dee that you guys talked to. The rumor was that Dee is finally died, but that his soul was being guarded by some kind of demonic or diabolic principality who was using his spirit for some purpose. And then the final one was actually something that Mind Warp had brought back from the town, something he grabbed on the way out.
Oh yeah, the journal.
Okay, yeah.
There was the journal.
Well, was it at the town? No, I found it after the kaiju attacked us, I thought.
While you were escaping through there, you happened to stumble across this, and you found a journal that was written by a man named Auguste Emile Foucault, who was the great grandfather of the alchemist who you had faced a few weeks before. Do you remember what you learned about Professor Alchemist?
He's held in some powerful prison.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Lasante.
And he's just that he was a very powerful alchemist, much more powerful than his grandson.
Yeah, he was also a foe of Dr. Caliburn in his day.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that now.
You learned that it was Forn Fader, the Eternal Viking, who had told you that there was more to Dr. Caliburn, or his life had been longer than you expected. It seems that he was active as a mystic gentleman scholar, or not gentleman scholar, a mystic like consulting detective in the Victorian era, at which time he was a foe of Alchemist, Professor Alchemist.
Right.
So,
well, and he warned us to be careful of him because he's very tricky, I believe, was...
Well, and Cygnus uncovered that a man with a very similar name seems to be the one who built Lasante.
Right.
So, anything else you guys recall from last time? I don't recall anything else from having watched the session. But there was also there is a really fun progression from John immediately saying, "There is no way we are dealing with bargaining souls," at the start of the session to the end of like, "Well, I guess we're bargaining our souls."
I'm begrudgingly accepting the group's decision.
It was just funny because like early on there was a clear like there's no way we are doing this, and then like 2 hours later like, well, I guess we're doing this now.
I needed denial and then begrudging acceptance time. So
yeah. So with that in mind, that brings us to today's session, and I guess like the reason there was also Cygnus learned something about the D compass as well, and its interaction with his dark star.
Yeah.
Do not explode the compass. I think that's what we learned.
Yeah.
There seemed to be whether it was by the magic of the White Witch or by proximity to the compass or some other reason, Cygnus had used some quantum analysis, stuff to some kind of advanced sensors to realize that his dark star is interacting with it in some very unusual way. And he's seen some unusual behavior from that dark star in the last couple of months anyway.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys wish to do? Oops. Next.
Oh,
Oh. Hold on.
I may have lost John for a second.
Yeah. I know John was saying he's getting a snowstorm today. Let me just give him a link to it. I still see him in Zoom.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah, that was
Are
odd.
you there?
Okay, you're back. Let's see. Do you guys see John in?
I don't see anybody.
I haven't seen either of the other players today.
Okay, here. Let me try it. Let me try to reconnect on my side. So I lost him as well.
And I just treat that as normal.
Yeah.
All right, so I lost everybody now. If everyone could hit reconnect.
Oh yeah, you froze now.
Yeah, I had John momentarily there.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Okay. I
Okay.
can see you as well. I can see Will.
That was weird. I thought my internet dropped out. Well, it did, because another webpage I was on froze up. But
Huh.
that was
And then I got Jeff.
Okay.
All right. So then, where we left was with you guys making kind of the decision of which of those 4 potential resources to go after. And we left with, I believe, you guys underlining the spirit of John D. as your course of action. What do you guys wish to do next? How do you want to pursue this? Dr. Caliburn is, of course, at your disposal to try and give any guidance if necessary.
well. If we're going to be bargaining with the devil or a diabolic entity, we've got to find out what it wants or what it could want.
Trax?
That would be your specialty.
Yes. Any way I could do some research about this particular diabolic figure?
Yeah. Well, you need to find out who it is too.
Yeah.
That's the rumor you need to track down. So that'll be
That's right.
We
That's
can
right.
do a kind of a networking scene now, guys, if you'd like.
I remember bringing it up last time that we had to find out, reach out to contacts. This is lovely.
Yeah. So what about Cygnus and Mind Warp? What are you guys thinking?
Well, this is really your area of expertise, Warlock. What can we do to assist you? I can get places quickly and bring you resources, or help do research. I'm good at that, but I know nothing of the supernatural, really.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark here.
If I'm successful, I could probably find out things about this thing like in the past, and we could try to track it through history about what it's been doing. But yeah, I can probably sort through the mystic stuff, but I'm not quite so sure what we need.
Yeah.
What I know, kind of like what.
Why don't you give this? Why don't you give us an occult roll to start here? Let's talk about how much you're going to. There's a baseline of information you're going to have for it, but let's see how well you do. Okay, that's a raise. So what you would know so far is you're going to need to consult either the Vatican has an extensive library on the hierarchies of hell. Imagine, if you will, like an infernal list of of gossip. Because while the firmament of heaven is said to be eternal, hell is constantly changing over and seeing different, dukes of despair rise and fall, and barons of gluttony, or of marquises of destruction. All these things fancy their own titles, and one of the ways that the Vatican tracks their foes is in that kind of archive. However, they are reluctant to give that, because that also would give you an insight into bargaining with those types of creatures. So I guess one thing that you could do for Mind Warp is, if he wished to find some way to break into the Vatican's secret library of the Infernal, that definitely could give you some insight into who you're looking for. Other things is, if you that would be like written resources. There are also scholars, but that would be like a lot of criminals, a lot of super criminals, or folks who dabble in the, in the blasphemous. If you ask Dr. Caliburn, he may be able to afford an introduction, but you've heard of a guy named Sir Aloysius Abercrombie, who is said to be kind of a corrupted, British lord in the best of the kind of Hellfire Club tradition. I mean the actual Hellfire Club, not the, Marvel superheroes equivalent of it. So Abercrombie seems to have extensive knowledge of the diabolic domains, but that's also partly because he trucks with them. So whether you wish to deal with Abercrombie, and there are also artifacts you can likely recover that would likely give you some way of effectively, performing some kind of seance, not technically a seance, more of a summoning, and then bargaining with the actual inhabitants of hell. So that's sort of some of the stuff that you could deal with. Mind Warp, would you give us a common knowledge roll, please?
Yeah. There it is. Oh.
Okay, that's a 4. It's a success.
You still got a wound?
Oh,
He does, yeah.
I do, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, we haven't quite rested to get rid of it yet, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's still been a very long day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to put in chat here some of your options here. So that's some of the stuff thus far.
Mm.
What also, you're thinking more of the mundane, and
Yeah.
there's a super villain whose name is Hell's Angel. And it's said to be a villain who, a mortal who bargained with a demon and has been transformed into a fusing of the two. So if you're able to track him down, then that may give you a way of communicating with a demonic or diabolic force without having to go through the rigmarole of summoning something.
Oh, right.
So Hell's Angel is an option as well.
Yeah. I like both these options, actually.
And Cygnus, do you have any thoughts as to what you might be able to tap into? That this is, well, again, what I recognize as well and truly beyond your...
Yeah. I mean, he's been working on, reading up on the occult and stuff, but he's certainly no warlock as that goes.
Yeah, your fancy tech is beyond my purvey as well. So
Well, if you don't have an idea,
Cygnus, why
I don't have.
Why don't you give us a science roll, please?
Okay. Science. Bam.
And remember, you get a free reroll because of genius.
Yep.
That's already a raise, but
It could be bigger.
they could
but it's
explode twice. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So here's the thing you've heard about. You are aware of a I'm not sure if you explored it in great detail, but during the Soviet era, one of the ways it was always rumored that the Soviets were one of the reasons why the U.S. got into, psychic research and whatnot, and to a degree why MKUltra existed, is because of rumors of that the Soviets were pursuing these programs. In our world, it's largely the Soviets happily let the Americans believe that so they'd waste money on stupid shit. in our version of the world, what you heard is that there were physicists who, and it would have been after quantum theory, it would be in the 50s, who took quantum theory and tried to reconcile it with some of the higher level, like Gnostic or mystic beliefs. Someone who effectively was trying to meld science and sorcery through to be able to bridge distances. Now, you've never uncovered it because it's not an area that ever interested you before, but one of the things as you were acquainting yourself with the supernatural is that you've come across that there were these very unusual studies of how bridging dimensions with mystic arts could be understood as part of actual hard science. Now, you've never tracked down any information with that before, but because of the rays, one of the things you've heard is with the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, there were obviously different interests. Financial interests came by way of the oligarchs and whatnot, but there were also members of the espionage arm and the exotic science arm of the Soviet Union who kind of went into business for themselves. You've heard of an organization called the Dragon Guard, allegedly formed by a former Soviet soldier and super patriot named Alexander Dragovich. The Krasny Drakon is what they are called. If anyone was to scoop up that exotic science and sort of put it to their own purposes, if you were able to track this person down, the trouble is, he also operates, in spite of his advanced age, he still operates as a super villain of sorts, using a battle suit and operating under the name Katyusha. So you could also track down the Dragon Guard. Oops. And I'll put his name. Led by Alexander Dragovich. But I mean, what could possibly go wrong with tracking down a 50s era Soviet battle-suited super patriot? I'm sure they've been up to nothing but good in the interim. So those are some options for trying to track down more further information about this. And Jeff, I think I interrupted you when I was talking about the Dragon Guard. What did you have in mind?
Oh, I was just saying that I like a couple of these options. I think that Hell's Angel is, a great idea and a good place to maybe do this more safely. But breaking into the Vatican just sounds wonderful. How important would those books be to you, Warlock?
They'd be very useful.
So mechanically, guys, the way you can think of this is like an extended task where you guys will be generating tokens towards something. Each of these things will help piece together, because it is an extremely esoteric bit of knowledge that you're looking for, and likely something that whoever the particular demon is wants to keep things secret. So what are you thinking?
I mean, if Mind Warp could get a hold of those Vatican documents, that'll probably expedite my task. and make sure I don't call upon something I really don't want to deal with.
Or do we look for Hell's Angel and not have to maybe summon the demon directly? What do you think?
That's a good idea.
Definitely not summoning the demon is important.
I'd prefer not to summon a demon.
It is. I can tell you guys, it's unlikely that any one of these is going to be sufficient, right?
Right. No, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I take what you're saying. What are you thinking?
Vote for the Vatican thing first.
I'm all for it. I mean,
Still from the Vatican.
Jeff would vote for break into the Vatican. Mine works like thinking it's still, an exciting thing, and what could I find?
Am I the only one who thinks that's not a good idea?
It's definitely not a good idea, but I'm all for it. I'd
But I'm
rather
not gonna
break into the
veto.
Vatican and deal with demons.
I just gotta go really fast.
Yeah. All right, so is that where we want to start? And then maybe deal with some of the supervillains after that?
Well, I do have a power here that I don't use very often because I don't plan things like breaking into the Vatican very often, but I can scan for humans and objects at from 100 miles away. Like I have some remote viewing as part of my psychic
That is freaking
abilities.
cool.
So I could look for moments when the library is empty or like less danger and less risk. Like, I don't do heists very often, so it's not something that I often engage with, but
Okay.
I could scan ahead.
I just opened up your character sheets too, because I remembered to get it ahead of time.
I haven't used it I don't think I've used it in game yet.
No.
So
100 miles distance would mean you would need to be somewhere probably on the Italian peninsula.
yeah. I mean, I could get close by so that if I see that it's possible, then I could, make my move. And
So I, at some point in this evening, as you guys are talking and you're, enjoying the last of the food that's around, Dr. Caliburn walks in and is like, did you know that on your foreign fader that you could, and he sees like on the whiteboard, break into the Vatican, and he just turns around on his heel and walks right out of here?
You see Warlock giving him a shit-eating grin.
So that's what you're thinking. Get yourself somewhere. I mean,
like nearby, like as if I'm just a tourist or whatever, and then do my thing. If I see that basically hang out until I see that the library, at least the section of the library where, Warlock thinks there's a chance, is empty. At least if I can get in there, then I have a bit of time to look around with hopefully not drawing an alarm.
Okay. Cygnus and Warlock, what are you guys thinking of? Are you considering assisting in this in some way, or?
I think it would be good means to assist him. I mean, between Cygnus and Warlock, we both have different specialties. Like, the Vatican is packed with like supernatural protections because of its very existence, and in the modern age it's going to have a lot of technology as well to protect things from other thieves. So between Cygnus and myself, we should probably offer some protections towards Mind Warp as he does this stuff.
Well, and
I'm thinking with my super sorcery,
there may be some kind of hero that protects the Vatican even.
all the better to hide you from.
What Warlock, without making any occultism rolls, he would know that there would likely be angels and similar things that are bound to there.
Yeah. When's the last time you've been to confession, Mind Warp? It's been 14 years for me.
Confession? What is that?
I think it makes you squeaky clean so the angel don't kill you.
Well, if our purpose is for the greater good, do they look the other way?
Greater good. They're more black and white. Evil smite.
And they are also likely to be bound to service in the same way that there's a lot of chaos in hell. The order of heaven is fairly regimented, so there will be angels that will be assigned to specific tasks.
Yeah, there is a pretty nice guy that came down a long time ago that a little bit, but he's not here.
All right. So then let's jump into it, and we're going to use the rules.
Are we going to like sleep on the flight over there, or because mind warp could like not do with that wound?
Are you flying over there, or are you going to? Yeah, do you guys want to like deal with this tomorrow?
Yeah, because for one thing, I mean, everybody needs to heal up.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, we are probably all tired as hell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So.
And I think I'm going to put a little bit of a hedge of protection around the house so we can rest easily, just in case the Wendigos have still tainted us.
Oh yeah, what is your Oh shit! Why don't you give us an occultism check, but you're going to take your -2 penalty because it's specifically warding against the Wendigo.
Trait modifier -2. There you go.
There you go with a raise. All right. So when he first starts trying to form these things, his hand's shaking a little bit, and he just stops it, catches himself, and then focuses and thoroughly wards this entire building once again. Mind warp, either through the spells of Warlock or through just rest, you can be able to get rid of that last wound.
Oh, beautiful.
And anything you guys wish to do with your evening, now when you have an opportunity to be on your own?
I probably need to try and figure out what's going on, if there's something wrong with the containment, with the singularity, or what exactly the problem is.
Sure. So let's do this here. I'm going to start a clock for the singularity.
No, should not have brought that up at all.
Oh, I should be clear. I mean clock in the sense of Blades in the Dark, not in the sense of like things. It'll be my way of tracking what's happening over time as you're trying to piece together. Clock is just a convenient way of tracking the progress on an extended task. So, yeah.
I thought we were talking Spawn for a second.
Just throwing that in for a little narrative, like if you don't mention it, it's not going to happen.
All right, so then would you give us a science?
Sure.
Ooh, you know what? It'll be the lower of science or occult.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you know
all
now.
Right.
But it's still, I think, both count as smarts rolls, aren't they?
Both are smarts tasks, so.
So you can, there you go. Oh, race, nice. Okay. So you're starting to collect information. All right. Then it is otherwise an uneventful evening. There is not anything that disturbs your sleep. You're able to get if you do dream about who's at the major phobia. Oh, okay, Warlock does, yeah.
Yeah, Warlock.
So I think you do definitely dream of the Warlocks, of the Wendigo, but it isn't them connecting. It's just a nightmare like what anyone else would have. Morning comes. What is the plan?
I think we have breakfast and.
We want to catch a flight over there.
Yeah, does Jeff need to do anything for his wound?
No, Kevin said it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, either through magic or through. I'm assuming somebody would make use of the magic, try and heal him up. Everyone gets a Benny in a couple of minutes too. Might as well get that now while you are.
I actually almost think flying is a good idea just to be inconspicuous. I know it's going to chew clock, but it's that or just show up randomly somewhere in Italy out of a portal. I mean, I know we have superheroes and stuff like that, but still, people are going to take more notice of that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And if we're anywhere near the Vatican, I'm pretty sure they have a tight leash on who's coming and going. Magic.
Oh yeah, Vatican City's no joke.
European cities are more heavily surveilled than what
Magically.
I mean, not. I was going to say they're more heavily surveilled with cameras and stuff, but I think that North American cities have really kind of caught up to that in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
to a large extent.
The big ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's funny, somebody posted a thing showing like not the Hubble, but the other telescope that they've got
James
up there
Webb?
now.
James
Some
Webb.
deep space image.
James Webb. James
yeah,
Webb.
the James Webb. They posted an image of that, and then they posted an image of like at the ATM, you know, of somebody, or you know, and it's just horrible quality. And it's like, yeah, you got surveillance, but your DPI is terrible.
Yeah. I can't remember when I watched the. It was the House of Usher. Follow the House of Usher miniseries. I watched that last weekend, and there's a pretty funny bit where they're like, it's a joke made a bunch of times, but they got a photo of this. They're trying to figure out who this woman is, who they keep seeing. And he's like, "Well, can you enhance the photo?" And they're like, "That's not how that works." He's like, "No, you do it. Just make it enhance." He's like, "I can zoom." But like. It's got Mark Hamill playing a really sinister character in it too, so I really enjoyed the series. But anyway, so that's the thing too, is that you would have surveillance that potentially that would show you showing up. So it sounds like you guys are going on an Italian holiday.
Yeah.
Anything in particular you wish to bring with you beyond your... I mean, Warlock doesn't really... He has a suit, but not really a super suit. But you two do.
Yeah. My suit's enchanted, so it's magic.
Let's see. I mean, I definitely would have clothes. I would probably also have a laptop.
Yep. Kim?
With me. Because I could still do further research and stuff on the plane ride. What else? That would be the main things that I think Cygnus would have.
I'm bringing a suitcase just filled with random assortment of clothes, just so I could look normal for traveling sakes.
Okay. Sir, when we searched your luggage, we found 32 pairs of underwear and nothing else. What?
That's my normal clothes.
Yeah, just normal clothes,
Yeah.
What about you, Mind Warp?
He probably travels pretty light because he's, used to that. So he's got like an iPad and maybe a book that he's working on.
That's
Okay.
some
In between.
fancy technology. I got a flip phone.
Yeah.
So with... what else?
Oh, I was just trying to think if there was anything else. I don't think so. Nothing special that he would bring. He's trying to travel light because we might not be leaving there like the way we came. So if you bring a suitcase full of stuff, well,
Are you traveling together or separately? Oh, in Cygnus and Mind Warp, you should have 4 bennies each.
Yep, I just...
Oh, just up there? Okay.
Thank you.
I don't see any problem traveling together.
yeah, that I'm
I
not
would-
too worried about.
I would think we would travel together.
Okay. So as you guys are this would be from Montreal, so it would be direct flight, I imagine. Checking in, the flight itself is uneventful. Let's just draw a card and see if it's a club. If it's a club, something interesting will happen. So let's just see.
Adieu.
Okay.
Hi, Jew.
The big flying
thinking
kind.
Karen.
Mothra? That's what's called.
Yeah, more kaiju, exactly. I saw my resolution this year has apparently been to keep refreshing Prime's home premiere page because I keep wanting to. I'm waiting for fucking Godzilla -1 to show up.
Nice.
I haven't wanted to see a film this badly. Like I haven't been as excited for a film as much as this one. I think probably since before COVID. I can't think of something that's released afterwards that I've really been that that excited to see necessarily. So, the flight itself is uneventful. You guys land in Rome. Are you booking a room together, or are you intending on staying, separate hotels?
I would think we'd be in the same hotel in different rooms, hopefully on the same floor.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Any
I'm
particular?
getting the penthouse.
Anyone have the wealthy edge? No.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing
No.
to say.
So, budget hotel it is. We have of course, the obligatory shots of you guys going around in a cab as people are zipping by on scooters. We would see the Colosseum. We would see, the Roman ruins and whatnot. And we would then see you guys checking in and now all meeting up in one of your rooms to plan how you wish to go about this heist. So let's do this by way of montage, I think, because the way that you do extended tasks in Savage Worlds is just like you would on your turn. You each get cards for your turn. If you draw a club, there is a complication for what you are doing, but otherwise we go in the order that we have them unless you guys choose to change the order. So let me get that open here. All right, let's draw some cards for y'all. So here we go. 7 for Warlock.
57s.
4 and 2, but he gets a new one. A 2, but he gets a new one. A 5, but he gets a new one.
There you go.
There we go.
I know those low cards out of the way. Watch out, combat.
Yeah. So then, Mind Warp. What is your immediate thought for?
Obviously, the first thing he wants to do, I'm assuming we're starting this one. We're within position, essentially.
This is you guys. We can flash back and forth between you guys planning and actually executing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
I think an Italian heist is appropriate in this way. I mean, I think you're obliged to drive Austin Minis for this part of our adventure.
Totally.
I thought we all had to say ciao. Ciao.
I think the first thing that he would do is the super suit that he wears. It would be very obvious if they did catch any footage of him.
Yeah.
But 2, sort of specially designed a little bit, all superhero lore to handle sort of his speed. So what he wants to do is get some kind of something that looks more like normal clothing, but made in such a way that would help him still move fast and not wreck it. Kind of like a special suit made, something that would be more civilian.
Yeah.
But, maybe a hoodie or something that he can put the hood up to sort of cover his face while he's in.
Yeah. What? Okay, so why don't you give us I think that's a science roll, probably.
Yeah, because he's got to know what it needs to be.
Yeah, to prepare your stuff. And I mean, Cygnus, so let me just ask you this. Do you want Cygnus to support you in that?
Yeah, maybe. Sure. He's got a lot of knowledge about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you're
absolutely.
I think you're more the theoretical and Cygnus is more the engineer.
Yeah, probably you'd see maybe the only thing he did pack is a backpack or something with his super suit in it. He probably pulls it out and he's looking at it and, hey, Cygnus, I don't think I should go in the suit. Mm-hmm. What do you think we could put together?
We can even... Oh, go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say, I think we can do some tailoring.
Okay,
so
here we go. Science.
So, first, actually, Cygnus rolls his... Yeah.
Support. Okay.
Do you want me... Now, does it have to be science, or could it be repair?
No, repair, I think, is the one that is likely...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the one that you can do, yeah.
They're both the same, but I want to make sure I do the...
Okay, so that's +1, right? Because you got a success. You got +1 to your roll, Mind Warp.
Okay, so science.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Genius. Is it repair and smarts roll?
You're right. Thank you, Kevin. Man, I need to wake up. I need to drink.
Honestly, you know what? I have you to thank for it because you were mentioning it quite a few times in the last session I watched. So,
I've been, I remember.
yeah. So it's +1. So you got +1 mind warp. Go ahead and give us science roll +1.
Come on, exploding dice.
Yeah! Whoa! All right. So
Awesome.
yeah, and what I'll say is with the extra raises, like this is something that you'll be able to use for 3 scenes.
Nice.
So you have 3 different scenes where this thing will survive. It's not going to be persisting beyond that, but yeah, pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what you two have been cooking up before you got there. So maybe it may have been something you were working on before you came out. We would flash back to the lab, and they're laying things out. And Warlock, what's your reaction to this? Super suit that's not a super suit.
It's real clever. Get you some protection while, making sure they don't recognize you. Beyond me, I mean, I could maybe offer some enchantments to help mask your presence from other senses, but it's pretty impressive.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then, what, if anything, would you like to do to for part of this planning?
Probably figure out what kind of enchantments that need to be protected from in the Vatican, like if there's any record of, what enchantments they use or surveillance for the mystical.
Yeah. Why don't you give us I think academics.
Academics.
Check.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good at a lot of these. You don't have genius as well, right?
I do not know.
Okay, so that's a success.
5.
Yep. So what? You're. I'm assuming you were going for the more supernatural.
Yes.
Things. Okay. So then you're finding you've got some idea now of what to expect as far as the warding spells are likely to be. I think by taking that approach, you're just reading about it more so than trying to test them. So this is more in theory.
I'm imagining that maybe they hide glyphs within their artwork that just aren't easy to find, and then I'm trying to find them in the glyphs or in the artwork so that we know what to look for.
You're probably paging through like tourist guides. We see you in a tourist shop dressed like the touristy American, looking at different pictures of things, and while it's showing like, oh, here's a beautiful statue and so, and here's some a wonderful frieze, you're recognizing them for the actual embedded enchantments that they are. So you may experience some pushback from efforts to scry mind warp, is what Warlock is setting you up for.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
So you've got right now 4 successes towards your preparatory phase of this. Do you feel you got enough to start the actual looking into it, or that could be the next phase of this, and then there would be the phase of actually infiltrating.
Right. The danger phase.
I can tell you the way I'm sort of thinking of this is that as you could go another 4 successes into this stage, and then that will affect the ease with which you're going to be infiltrating, and it might identify ways you can use your skills to get around this stuff. Like, for instance, that these are physical glyphs that are mounted in there, so there might be a way to affect them. What's up? Oh,
I have an idea.
Yeah.
As far as preparatory phases go, my idea would be, since we know there's angelic beings being contracted to protect the Vatican, I'm thinking I could weave some kind of fake enchantment into his new outfit to make him maybe detect angelic for a brief time period, so that the alarms don't go crazy.
Oh, so he'd read as things. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Right, like change the signature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just for a brief time period. And I'm thinking that would involve locating some source of angelic essence to use in the casting.
Yeah. So let's here. Let's
Maybe
do our
find
second.
remains of a saint I can get a hold of or something.
Oh yeah, and this. I mean, if any city's going to have it, right? Joker. Everyone gets a Benny.
Nice.
Now it's going to get harder. That's how these games go. I love it.
We barking at. And has suggestions on how to shovel. She's in the room too, right? Like she's just yelling at. It's so cold here that yesterday when we had our snow removal guys come by, she didn't actually bark at them. She's like, "Man, you already got it tough. I'm not yelling at anyone." Oh my goodness. All right, so then, Cygnus, that means you're going to get +2 to any rolls you make this round. So if you have anything really, particularly clever you want to do, now would be the time for it. And
okay,
you
the time. So I think, let's see, how would he actually do this based on what limited knowledge I have? I'm thinking he's going to actually try and do some sort of hacking. And try and get at least into their network.
Okay.
And I would think with the internet and everything, I would think there is a way to do it without actually physically having to be in the building or anything like that. I think he was going to try and hack.
So I think they would likely have one of the easiest ways to keep a network secure is just not allow Wi-Fi access, right? But this is a superhero setting. So what you could do is, in spite of those limitations of having the only physical network, you still might be able to access it remotely.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you give us a computers check, I guess, at plus...
hacking.
Oh, hacking check, right, at +2.
They actually have a hacking skill, which I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, and you've got +2 to this. Remember, don't put the plus sign in.
Yeah, just a 2.
Otherwise, the world inverts.
One reroll that.
Happy with that? Okay. Oh, yeah, you got smarts, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice.
So that is 2 successes so far.
Cool.
Okay. So you're going to be able to sort of monitor what is going on. You also have a sense of where the mundane physical security is.
Right.
Would you give us a... Let's see here. Give us a... take a notice check, please, at minus... I think we'll put it at -4. Because at this stage, it's a bit of a long shot whether you see him. Oh, Anna says hi. Hey, sweetie. Want to come out? There you go. Okay, Anna is co-DMing now, or co-marshalling. We're playing Savage Worlds. Nice, sweetie.
I can do that. I can do this.
Thank you.
Wait.
There you go.
Man.
So as you're looking through things, there is something that that does show up in this, and that is an individual. Oh, wrong tab there, Madison. Individual who looks like this. Yeah. Now, one major difference is that in place of this, nondescript armor, there is a clear tabard that they are wearing, on which there is placed a what do you call it? A obvious Christian cross.
Yeah.
And let me check something here.
They wear kind of really brightly colored tabards, don't they?
Yeah.
In our world,
Yeah, it's well, like for the a lot of the monastic orders all wore like white or red or black, so really obvious cassocks. Oh, you mean the Vatican Guard in general? Yeah, the Vatican Guard. Yeah, they're gaudy as fuck. It is full on. Yeah,
just in our in traditional.
Yeah, and this does not seem to be part of the Vatican Guard. I'm just going to tell you what his. That would be a Italian superhero who goes by the name Cavaliere, or the Knight. I think it's Il.
And he's there?
He is there on premises.
Okay.
Let's see if I... Yeah, Il Cavaliere. What is... Oh, I've got it muted anyway. So I'm going to get Google to tell me how to pronounce it. So, that is... they're not like guarding something, it's just that you know there is at least one superhuman who is on premises. And I spelled Cavaliere wrong.
I was wondering if it had 2 R's.
No, it does not.
Okay. I was like,
yeah.
man, when one
I'm trying to think how many Italian words there's locations that have 2 R's. I actually don't know if the double R is particularly common in Italian. Yeah, I really don't know.
I don't either.
So that is Cygnus, however, has access to this. He's managed to do it remotely. You can picture him sitting outside a lovely Italian cafe, sitting with his laptop, and while you may think he may be working on his screenplay or his book about art history if it's in Rome, he is in fact hacking the Vatican's security network. Warlock, you're up next. What would you like to do? And that instantly contribute 2 more towards it.
Locate a source of angelic essence and see if I can get Mind Warp's suit.
Yeah, so this one will be a matter of networking, and but we'll use your occult, I think, instead of using either 2 social skills that are normally used for networking.
Okay.
But it'll be the same consequence. If you run into trouble with it, it's going to...
I'm going to be pretending to be like some kind of tourist, but, really focused on the occultist nature of the Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm. There are many occultists you can run across in the Eternal City, so...
Nice.
Go ahead and give us an occult roll. Okay. That's another success. So you're able to track down from, and perhaps this person is not a, they're not thinking you're going to do anything untoward with it. I think, why don't we say that it is a single... blade of grass from the fields of paradise that you have it to work with. And then finally, Mind Warp. What are you thinking?
So, my last step of preparation is something very mundane compared to what they did, but I want to memorize, commit to memory as best I can, all the known, maps, watch some videos of the Vatican, commit to memory as much as I can the layout, places I could run to, little alcoves, whatever videos people have on YouTube and
sure
known maps, that kind of thing, just as much as I can find as far as learning, not just learning, but actually having it in my memory, so that if it's oh shit, I'm here, I'm in the west side and someone's coming, it's I remember there's a little thing up there I could get to, that kind of stuff, right?
Why don't you give us a research check, please, then? That's a skill.
Which I do not have. No. So that is there an unskilled? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there is.
untrained or unskilled.
Yes.
you go.
Exploding dice.
Yeah. So that's one extra on top. So yeah, you got committed to memory. You're ready to actually, start with this infiltration. So
Warlock's starting to think these two are much more enthusiastic about breaking into the Vatican than he is, and he's really enthusiastic about it. Holy cow!
all right. So then we'll transition to the actual breaking into the Vatican. Well, let's start now. Let's take our mid-session break. We're 8 minutes off from our mid-session break. Okay. So why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what happens to you guys as you infiltrate. Is it true that what they say about Chekhov's knight, that what's introduced in the first act is going to show up in the third? We'll find out in about 5 minutes. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and then we'll see what happens next.
This is going to be amazing.
Totally.
I thought we were going to go make a deal with a demon, but that's still on the table. But we got to break into Vatican first.
Right, of course. Of course you break into the Vatican before you make a deal with the devil.
You find a holy relic, swipe it, please. We might need it.
Yeah.
I say that as Kev's not here yet, so.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, as you can tell, Warlock is a little iffy about the angelic powers because he deals with the other side more often than not, usually fighting them.
Right.
I mean, his signature spell is Hellfire Blast, so it should tell you something.
Yeah, totally. Well, and you know, I think one of the interesting things for my character is like, as a scientist and like the type of scientist he is, like he thinks the world progresses best when all of the knowledge is shared. And so the Vatican and its like hiding of information to like protect itself or whatever goes like so far against what he believes is best for the world. And so like breaking in there to steal a book and read it is like sticking it to the
right
an organization that is sort of against the way he sees the world.
Yeah. I can get where they're coming from. Some people just, would misuse information so badly, but who are they to tell us what we can?
Well, and I mean, obviously there's stuff in there that could hurt the church, right? So
probably, or at least the current leadership of the church, at the very least.
Yeah.
Although picking a fight with the angelic forces is like, do you want to die?
Well, I'm not planning on fighting them.
Oh yeah, of course.
Run. Yeah, run.
Run those little feet as fast as you can.
Exactly. There's a fairly good chance that we create a bit of an ongoing, not quite enemy, but recurring, thing here.
Guess what, guys? It's time for your monthly, SWAT by the Vatican, trying to seize all your stuff because they track you down.
They found you again.
What you talking about, Pope? It was somebody who wore my face.
Oh, I totally want to see the Pope like make some power armor and come after us and like
he's the real superhero of the Vatican.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The old man thing is just an act. It's an illusion.
Well, when you're in power armor, an armor that's like powered by your faith.
Oh,
so
shoot.
Like that's why you're like the Pope, because you're the stronger your faith.
Oh, Kev's back. Shh.
No giving him ideas.
No.
I heard ideas.
Something about the Pope and power armor.
Yeah. Powered by your faith was the idea.
We had I can't remember if it was your birthday or someone else's, Jeff, where we ran, we didn't stream it, but this is years ago. We ran a session of Marvel superheroes, of DC Adventures, where the players were, the request was for a Suicide Squad. It might have been, what's his name? Nick, who requested the session.
Oh, yeah.
Wanted to play Suicide Squad, so we had all the characters playing members of the Suicide Squad, and the thing was the guys had to, this was before the original film was out, the guys had to break into North Korea to, I think it was to kill Kim Jong-un. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so they went in, but then what they found at the end of it was that Kim Jong-un had somehow acquired the body of Chemo, the DC supervillain, the big like collection of green chemicals and whatnot, and he had transformed himself into the Unstoppable Man. So they had to fight a dictator in the body of a giant chemical spill, basically. So, oh,
That's
man.
so great.
Yep. It was a lot of fun. Everyone gets a Benny, by the way. We're at 9:30.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I'm almost maxed.
Then there is no max for bennies.
Yeah, there is no max.
The chart just has a number on it, but there is no actual max.
Yeah, don't worry.
Great.
We'll give you an excuse to start using them right away.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so then we're into infiltration time, guys. So let's draw some cards here. Warlock. Ooh, King of Spades. I love that King Conan card. 10 of Spades. And 6 of Clubs.
For our infiltrator, yes. This is great.
All right, so first up will be... Oh, yes, first off, anyone can spend a Benny to get new cards if they choose.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will take another card.
Okay.
I am flush with bennies.
Now, that is
Come
a
on.
3. But so you do get... Hold on. It's a 3, so Queen. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, beautiful.
Okay. Warlock, you're up first. What part are you playing in this infiltration?
So the enchanting his armor already took place, right?
Yes, yeah. You've already granted him some extra measure of protection.
I assume that he's going to go in by himself, and we're going to be doing something else, right? Okay. Well, he's scrying, of course. So
your choice. I mean, like if you guys, if that's how you wish to do it, that's fine.
So if he's going to start scrying first before he goes in, I think that I will try to create some sort of distraction to get the attention of whatever forces might be looking in that area.
Yeah, sure. So it'll basically be a support roll, I think, or support check.
So occult.
How are you foreseeing the distraction going?
I think I want to tap in a little bit of the infernal power that Warlock wields and make it seem like there's a burgeoning hellish hotspot coming off in a certain direction that might get their attention.
Okay.
So maybe focus instead?
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Okay, because they're the same number.
Yeah,
but...
and you're actually wielding your magical power. That's a +1. So then a Warlock.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Mind Warp.
Yeah. Okay. So I click on the power.
So the power itself. Let's see.
Or does it? No, it doesn't actually roll it, does it?
No. Oh yeah, you can actually. Sorry. With 1 minute focus, yeah, you could extend it further. So what is it that you're specifically looking for here?
Well, this actual book, right? I mean, I guess I don't know what it looks like, but I know what it's. Yeah, that's hard, right? Because we don't actually know what the specific book is.
So here's the thing. Between your super speed and your ability to view, why don't you give us a... I hate to do this to you, but it's going to be research again.
Yeah.
Because that's just the nature of what you're trying to do here. Is
kind of, right?
But you are going to get a +1, so it'll be unskilled check, but a +1.
Almost blocks the penalty. Here we go. I need an exploding dice. Go!
There you go. Nice. All right. So towards the 4 you needed to identify the thing, you've got 2 so far. You are able to, whether it's a combination of just that you've got your mutant ability that is different from the typical supernatural interventions that they would be trying to ward against for this secretive library, or if it is from the wardings or the sort of angelic flavoring that Warlock was able to add to your abilities. You're able to view into this, and you can picture, a impossibly large library in the bowels of some medieval built building, or even perhaps Dark Ages built building. There is electronic lighting in here. You can see there are 1 or 2 librarians, but it's the place that it gives you the impression of like a absolutely empty library. And there are tons of books in here. Fortunately, all your preparations for what you're looking for and what you're specifically trying to find answers for is, well, let me ask you this. What do you think it is that you were trying to narrow your research on? Is there packs in the demonic lanes? Are you looking for like a list of people who would make those kinds of deals? Are you looking for like, you know, like effectively like an org chart, you know, for...
Right.
Yeah. Like, it sounds silly, but like some of what Gnostic writings are effectively fucking org charts of hell or org charts of heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like something that a historical documentation of sort of that, right? Like the positions of...
Yep. So I think you found at least, like, if you could get yourself physically into this area, I think you've identified the books, like the books or either the book or a couple of books that you will grab that will give you that first step towards finding Dee's soul.
All right.
Then Cygnus, what are you doing?
Yes, mainly. I think the main thing is he's observing through the laptop, you know, kind of where Mind Warp is, maybe trying to kind of coordinate, make sure he's not in the cameras that long, things like that.
So, like, you're trying to set him up? Sure, why don't we do this? Why don't you give us a notice check as support for Mind Warps, because I'm assuming he's going to try and sneak in next.
Yeah.
That's
not
2.
bad.
Plus 2. Pretty great. Is notice a smart skill?
I think it is, actually. I don't know why I don't have this pulled up. I've got I made a Word document.
Oh, nice.
with all his powers and, like, the edge and stuff.
Yeah.
Let me sit here. Word. Let's go ahead. And there it is. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of skills. I mean, that's a great edge. Oh my gosh.
You can't get more than plus 2, unfortunately, but that's...
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's still pretty freaking good. All right,
That's
so
awesome.
then with that, Cygnus has got sort of an idea of how to get you in there, or how to time this. Warlock has given you the benefit of masking, so hopefully you won't trigger the sensors. Next round. Oh, we did use a Joker. Hold on, I got to reshuffle. I think I forgot to do that last time. Bushley, man, I'm out of practice. Oh, there's a club. And there's another club.
Oh.
Oh, and an ace. You spend a Benny, you got it.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And
Okay.
10.
I'll take the 10.
I spent a Benny to
Spend a Benny
get
too,
another.
okay. And
And
8. All right. So currently, Mind Warp, you are getting plus 3 to whatever actions you're taking to try and actually infiltrate here.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm just, literally basically trying to use speed and that prep I did of the map plus the information that Cygnus is feeding me to sort of move from alcove to blind spot to just as quickly as possible and sort of dart into the library section.
Sure.
where
So why don't you give us a stealth check, I guess, at plus 3. Remember, don't put the plus sign in.
right actually okay at this. Here we go.
You are able to get yourself in with very little effort. There's once or twice you pass, again, like you mentioned, the Vatican Guard in their gaudy, outfits. Although nowadays they carry Swiss fully automatic machine guns, I believe. So
Yeah.
it's not just the halberd you need to worry about. It's the fucking, whatever is going on. There are one or two folks who you would guess would be monks or perhaps mystics who are in here that you pass, and then you're able to sort of slip past one of the open doors leading down into the area. You need only one more success on your side to be able to grab this book and then get the F out of there. Warlock and Cygnus, what are you doing? I guess first up is Warlock. I'm assuming you're not using your club.
No, I'm not using the club. That's maybe bad. So he's in... I can only think of like starting. Is there a way that I can see about setting up an extraction for him to get him out quickly if needed?
We
Yeah.
have to get to the thing. Oh yeah, okay, but I guess we'd still.
I'm trying to think how to
set
interpret that. I think because rather than just supporting, like giving a support role for that, or make it contingent on that, what if we, if you're successful on this, what if we gave him a free reroll if things go wrong?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and what do you think you would be using for this?
Maybe a little bit of astral projection. Maybe like I'll follow him in spirit form, and in case something happens.
Well, hold on. If you're going in spirit form, that is a very
That's
different.
not going to work.
Yeah, that's a no. It's not that it won't work. It's just that it's a different skill. Then you're going in as well. Thus far, you guys have been supporting with him being the only one going in. You absolutely can.
Narratively think of how to do the reroll thing for it.
Why don't you give us a battles check?
We don't have battle.
They'll be untrained then.
Okay, well, here's hope for exploding dice. Oh.
There you go. Nice. So you can have that reroll. All right. So you're thinking strategically, Ferris, and then finally, Cygnus. What are you thinking?
That's a good question. Okay, so since he's doing that, I think probably what Cygnus is actually doing is he's getting in contact, probably back with Dr. Caliburn, to teleport us all out of here, to make sure we've got the gates ready.
You guys have not involved him in the planning of this right now.
Well, it's just, hey, we need to come back home. I was trying to think of anything else, like that would be useful.
I think what you could do is you could try a persuasion check here.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's going to be -2 because
Okay.
this, but give us a persuasion check at -2.
Negative dose. And I will spend a Benny.
Okay.
Now let me see if this works. Yep, there we go. And submit.
There you
There
go.
we go.
So the you're at this cafe, and you've got mind warp in kind of in one camera, and you kind of minimize it as the waiter comes up and puts something down. You click your phone fader and call up Dr. Caliburn. He is perhaps tending to the extensive gardens at Ravenscrag, and he answers, Dr. Cooper. I'm certain that I'm not going to like what you're going to be telling me.
Well, the good news is we're not in jail yet.
That is something to be said. Should I
We
be
just-
preparing for an international incident?
Well, to hopefully prevent that, we're just wanting to make sure that you can get us out of here as soon as possible when we're ready.
Should I expect that this is going to be a very quick extraction, or?
Yeah, we're going to want to definitely.
I do not wish to know the particulars of what you are doing. Just know that with... How would we put it in the context of your field of study? Every action has a corresponding reaction. Call when you are ready.
On the Newtonian level, certainly.
Okay, and he hangs up. All right. Final round of extraction. We didn't have any jokers last time. So 6 for Warlock. 7 for Sickness. And a Queen for Mind Warp. Oh, guys. You spending a Benny to get rid of that club?
Yeah, I'm spending a Benny.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
And, no, it's a spades. Spades are fine.
Oh, it is? It's hard for me to see. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'm also going to draw a card for something else.
Oh, no. It
Oh, look at that. Does anyone else wish to spend bennies to try and get a new card? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got lots of bennies here, Warlock.
Okay. That's it.
That's it? Anyone else spending more bennies?
Let's save my bennies for the trouble that's about to come my way.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hoping for a joker, but you know.
Okay. Then... What you find here... yeah. Sure, I'm sure I find stats for the thing I want here. What are you crying for? Anna's crying. I don't know if you heard. She's crying for what's about to happen.
Yeah. She worries about us.
Get your ball, Cooper.
Can
All
you
right.
blame her?
So what I'd like first is for Mind Warp. Would you? You can picture you were in kind of this library right now. Stacks that are stacked with like not wire, but like metal walkways in between, almost like scaffolding to be able to access all the different myriad selection of books that are there. And you've got yourself hidden in one and dressed in your hoodie and civilian clothes and whatnot. And there is suddenly a feeling of disquiet you can feel in your stomach. And would you give us a spirit roll, please? And let me check here. Is there a penalty? No, just a flat spirit check.
Okay, here we go. There's a real long delay today. Oh.
Benny that?
Can I use a Benny? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. As long as you don't roll double ones, then you can always spend a Benny. And you spend as many Bennies as you like. That is a success, though. So, I imagine you have seen, those videos that have made the rounds of, like, biblically accurate angels, where it's just wheels of eyes and wings and stuff that are drifting along.
Yeah.
That is what you see drift into this room and make its way slowly through, its eyes seeming to look everywhere for it. The roll that you made was for its very presence. These things, when you are working contrary to their alignment, it's not fear per se. It is awe. People use the phrase awesome to, in a very casual kind of way. But this is a manifestation of the divine will made quasi-flesh. And as such, being in its presence instills a feeling of awe. You, however, have managed to resist just its presence, but it does seem to be looking. So what we will need is a contested stealth and notice check here.
Now, flavor-wise, I don't know if this has any effect, but you see him activate the sort of this like ruin that Warlock has stitched onto the hoodie to give him this sort of.
So that'll give you a +1, +1 to this, from what he rolled. So you will be, and if you want to make use of your powers in some way to do this, you'd substitute your focus for your stealth.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got a cool description for how that might work. And I'm going to spend...
Well, I mean, his power is very much like sort of stepping between reality or like, slices of reality more than like actually moving super fast.
Yep.
So maybe he's just like kind of trying to essentially like vibrate in space a little bit so that it's like, he's not in one space, so like the signature of his presence is thinned, so to speak.
Yep.
Like thin himself out.
Sure. So I'll almost like he's like halfway in his teleportation kind of thing that he does. Yeah,
exactly. Like he's blinking in and out almost.
My best roll was a 7, so you're gonna need to give us a focus roll at +1. Don't put the plus sign in.
Here we go.
It's a 7. That's a raise on that as well. So do you think you'd misdirect? Oh, right, Moni. My goodness. You can hear that, right? My goodness. Neglected puppy. What, if you want to distract it in some other way, you could even do so.
Yeah, like, Yeah, like even just like, well, he's not really trying to move, so I was gonna no.
I mean, what you could maybe do, for instance, is if you're, stretching yourself out over sort of like 2 different places as if you're like superimposing into 2 different things, maybe you could like, in another side of the library, you could just like leave a book partially hanging out, and then when it falls, it will distract it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then this fucking nightmarish collection of eyes and wings wheeling around, kind of like turns, and then it's not quite like what you are, but it seems to move across the intervening space in a very disturbing manner as well. Yeah. And you think you hear trumpets as well, very vaguely, as it moves.
Yeah.
So it has completed its turn. You have managed to remain hidden. How would you like to try and get yourself out of here?
I'm glad it is gone. So, like, do I think I have the book?
You think you found at least the ones that you will need to review? Yeah.
Okay. So, honestly, I think this is like a case of basically from, like, he's a planner, right? And so it's like, he's now got this like, okay, this alcove, that space, what I went to before, and he's sort of got this map in his mind.
Yep.
And he is just literally going to go as fast as he can from like point A to B to C to D, like without stopping, right? Like just get there, look around, and if it's clear, just go to the next one, like sort of as,
So I think this will be probably athletics then.
Yeah. Because he's just pushing himself.
Yep, and I don't know if you've got... no one else granted you modifiers last round, so no one supported, so it's just... Go ahead and give us an athletics check, please.
Just that free reroll.
There we go.
There you go. No, the free reroll is if he gets into trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If there was trouble.
Yeah, that was it was contingent. Fortunately, that's it. So you race outside, and you've got a bunch of books, in your hand. As far as you can tell, Cygnus, he managed to get away scot-free.
As far as I can tell.
Cygnus, you're up next. Your task is completed, so really now it's a matter of how you choose to narratively extract yourself here.
I think this is the point where we see, do we all want to reconvene in one place? Because where has Warlock been?
Warlock has been somewhere else in. He's been all across Rome, troubleshooting thus far. He's probably near the borders of the Vatican, where he was preparing that sort of emergency exit, and you are somewhere in a cafe in Rome.
Right. So I think we would have probably some pre-selected area to meet back up. So I think that's what the plan is now, is to get to that point and go ahead and
we see like that kind of Ocean's 11 style, like one of you on a Vespa, and then it folds out to a second of you on a Vespa, to a third of you on a Vespa, all traveling through Rome, and you meet up at where do you think your designated meetup point is?
Probably the Colosseum.
Okay, I mean that'd be a very popular area, or a populated area, I imagine, but
I think that would help us.
Sure. Yeah. So you all meet up in there. Mind Warp has got, I'm assuming in your preparations as well, you got like a backpack or something like that. That's
what I was imagining, that he's put the stuff into a backpack.
All right. So guys, it appears that you may have gotten away with it.
Does Mind Warp share that he saw the biblically accurate angel thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So how does that come up?
Well, you'll never believe what I saw in there.
Yeah, the Warlock would have mentioned that was quick.
Yeah, well, there were things in there that I did not want to encounter. I'm certain. And he probably describes the as best he can, the feathers and eyes. And
it's actually quite painful to think of it too. And you find yourself talking a lot of, as a analytical, scientist, minded person, you're finding it really difficult to put into words what you actually saw.
Yeah, like it almost makes less sense the more I talk about it.
Yeah, he's talking about wheels and eyes and stuff like that. And I think you need not make an occultism roll for it too, but Warlock, you'd be able to recognize sort of, generally speaking, what it is he witnessed.
Yeah, there was like this wheel, and then inside that wheel was like another wheel, but then like another wheel, of course, right?
Yeah.
And, like just more wheel, like you know what I'm talking about, right? And then like those had feathers in them, but they weren't really feathers. I don't think they were feathers. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think you dodged a figurative bullet there.
Okay. So you have a codex of hell, effectively, the Codex Infernus. Where would you like to go next?
Somewhere safe and warded so we can look at this thing.
I think the rest of you aren't aware that Cygnus has contacted Dr. Caliburn for extraction.
Yeah. So when you guys are ready, let's head back to the Sanctum.
Sounds good.
I've already got Dr. Caliburn on the line.
Wait, you told Dr. Caliburn?
I told him to bring us home. I didn't tell him what we did.
Everyone gets a Benny, and it is in the wall of an alleyway the familiar gates for Ravenscrag open, and you guys pass through. We've been sitting on the same screen the whole time. I'll bring you guys over to Ravenscrag next. All right. So where we go?
I think the last thing that Mind Warp would have from this like heist scene is, I think he would be saying, especially with learning about the alternate universes, he says, I think in some alternate universe, I am a very good thief.
All right.
A quick one.
So arriving back at Ravenscrag, you have now access to a laundry list of suspects who may have this. That is one of 3 steps you need to take towards finding who it is that has John Dee's soul. What's your next step? And then I can scroll back up and just repost the options that you guys had discussed before. Hey. So what did you superheroes do today? Oh, we broke into the Vatican and stole a book of demons. There he is.
Hell's Angel, Summon a Demon, Vatican Archive, Abercrombie, and Lord Eliosis?
Aloysius.
Aloysius.
Aloysius Abercrombie, and then there's also Dragon Guard and Alexander Dragovich. The Supreme Soviet Sorcerer. I'm sure that's going to... No trouble will come from that. So the Vatican Archive has been robbed. What are you guys thinking next? You have a good list to work from here, so, you know, having the benefit of insight from someone else.
Yeah. What do you guys think would be a good person to go after?
Well, I mean, do we think we need Hell's Angel? I guess is the question.
It does sound like Mind Warp really wants to find Hell's Angel, so...
I mean, yeah, he just think... kind of he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean...
It's the name of his, the dragon god, Krasny Drakon. So, Russian former super patriot gangsters, a demonically infused biker, I forgot, I was reminded this week too of, you know what Australians call bikers? Bikies.
Bikies.
Oh my
Bikies.
gosh.
Yeah, that's the most adorable name for a bunch of fucking outlaws.
Well, it's Australia.
It's Australia, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I thought it was I knew that but before at some point too, but I was listening to an Australian streamer and they mentioned a bikie, and I'm like, oh yeah, right.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great fucking name. So Lord Aloysius Abercrombie, the notorious, you know, Hellfire sorcerer or demonologist, summoning a demon itself, which Warlock could probably do, Hell's Angel, or tracking down the Krasny Drakon.
Will we have to summon a demon anyway to get to bargain with it for the soul?
You'll have to summon the demon, yeah.
Yeah.
That's effectively what you're working for. You got your list of names to that right now. You need someone to tell you who you would get it, and then you need to know how you're going to go about summoning this specific one or invoking this specific.
Well, maybe we should talk to Abercrombie then.
Wow. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Abercrombie has a manor up in the Scottish Highlands, as is appropriate. Like the great beast before him. I have not seen the manor itself, but I have seen the scene that from the lock. I've seen Alistair Crowley's like winter home on Loch Ness. Mm-hmm. Then, how would you wish to approach this guy? Oh, and why don't we do some legwork first? Warlock, why don't you give us an occult roll, please?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a demonologist. I mean, surely we've gone in similar circles.
Yeah, so with the raise, you'll certainly... That's actually 2 raises. You will be able to... Let me see if I've got a handout for him already.
I mean, I dabbled. He's specialized, so...
Aha. Here we are. Oh, there we go. Oh, for Pete's sake. There he is. All right. So let's put this here and then bring it up. I need to organize handouts for you guys. This is getting a little out of control. This is Aloysius, Lord Aloysius Abercrombie.
Can smell the money.
Money and connections and demonic pacts. So, you definitely know how to contact this individual through some kind of arcane means. I'm just gonna see if I've got a creepy lock loaded here yet. That does sound like something I would do. I do not think I have one loaded yet. So while you guys tell us what you're doing, I'll do a snooping in my library here. What do you think? And do you want to talk strategy of dealing with this individual?
Well, he's going to be extremely interested in the books we just liberated from the Vatican, so could he not tell him about that?
Wow. Yep. That is a really good point.
Maybe we could flick through the books and find the least innocuous page that might get his attention and use that to set up a meeting?
Yeah.
I was going to say, who's got the best persuasion?
Persuasion. Oh. I got a D6.
Yeah, it's the same as me. Okay.
Mine more power you with the gift of gab.
I don't think I'm better than that. Yeah, I'm exactly that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not bad.
No, it's not horrible. What else? Need some... So yeah, I would say, I guess to a large extent, I would say you're going to take the lead, Warlock, and then we would support you in that.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, this is your realm of expertise. So,
Okay.
What else?
Not that I want to deface a Codex of Hell. I'll rifle through that for a page or something, and that I don't think can be.
I guess specifically, what are we interrogating him about?
Not so much interrogation as we need to find out the name of the demon that holds the soul that we want to talk to.
Okay, so we're going to talk to him about his knowledge of. Okay.
Yes. And if we bribe him with the enough, he probably won't ask why we need to look in for this information. So, hopefully, the demonologists are usually interested in about more information about demons to get more power over them, or just power in general. Worst, we might owe him a favor. I'd rather not do that.
No, that doesn't seem ideal.
But looking through the books that Mind Warp got, is there one that we might be able to offer as trade with the least repercussions to the fabric of the universe?
So you're thinking of tearing pages out to be able to offer?
Or maybe one to get his attention?
Sure. What is your occult?
It's a D10.
D10. So... Well, here, let's, you know what, why don't you roll? I think Savage Worlds is a much more transparent game than, I was going to roll a secret for you, but yeah, you could definitely find something that would be pretty sweet, and you're fairly confident that it's not going to impact your effort to try and do that. Try and locate whoever owns D's soul.
Okay. So yeah, I'll use my occultist means of getting a hold of the demonologist and tell him that, hey, I have something you might be interested in if you're willing to trade information.
It's probably a matter of so there is a place. It's called Old Home Manor. That he is located at. If you wish, the Dr. Caliburn could transport you there directly. I mean, this might be worse than going to the Vatican.
Of course.
But I mean,
at least the Vatican follows rules.
Well, the thing is, and Caliburn, I mean, he is not ignorant of what is necessary here, too. Like, if you guys have decided to go this, he's not going to say no. He is supportive of whatever you, as the guard, choose to do.
Yeah. How about he can teleport us there after we get the invitation to show up from the guy?
Okay.
Yeah. That seems like the polite thing to do.
So that would leave you about a day while you're waiting to hear from Lord Abercrombie. Anything you guys wish to do during that one free day? Warlock, I'm assuming, has been studying this to try and figure out something that would be a proper bargain, so maybe it's just Cygnus and Mind Warp.
I mean, I'm probably checking the news and the forums of the internet to see if there's any talk about a break into the Vatican.
Yeah. Why don't you
I am nervous.
give us a common knowledge roll?
Yeah. We've had a break in.
That's a research roll, I think, again. Sorry, because you're looking into something.
He's just researching.
We had a break into our, Codex of the Hells section. This would be common knowledge.
So, as far as you can tell, I think you're navigating a whole bunch of Italian language websites.
Oh, yeah,
and you're just, I mean, you could Benny that if you choose to.
No, I think this is just a case of like he literally
Oh, does that mean what I think it means? Oh no.
Yeah. And I also think he's getting distracted going down the rabbit hole of the angels too, now that he's actually seen this presence. I think he's also getting distracted.
But at least you didn't roll double nat ones, because then your search terms would have flagged us as possible suspects.
Yeah. I noticed that the day before your wife was murdered, dismembered, and disposed of with acid, you had a Google search for how to dismember and dispose of acid a body. Can you explain that? I'm working on a book. Cygnus, what are you thinking of doing?
I don't think there's anything specific to what the task is going to be that he would be doing, just based on what we've talked about so far. I think the only other thing he might be doing is, once again, making sure his suit is going to work properly and trying to figure out if there's anything else that might be causing the issues with the singularity.
Sure. Give us another science check, please.
Science.
And remember, you are a genius, so you can roll twice if you like.
It might get a bigger number. Or not.
Okay, what's two? Two more.
Wonderful.
All right.
The game has been very generous with raises today. I am
worried.
All right. Combat and everything's ones.
So it is. I'm trying to think of how he would. I think what happens is. Yeah, I'm trying not to have the raven at the window thing, because that's very magical, but I think very trite, and I think he would be more mischievous with it. Oh, here's what happens. So, Warlock, you are working away in your study, and you step away. What is Warlock? We know he's a smoker, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
cigars specifically.
So I think you step outside just to catch some fresh air. In spite of the winter scene here, remember it is still summertime here. You step outside just to have a, to light up a cigar and just try to like process the acrid smoke that comes as you're puffing it up to. Definitely has a much more of a brimstone odor to it than what you had, than what it typically does, and you're not sure if you account that for the fact that you've been reading about these infernal legions. You also pick out one or two names that definitely have promised to be doing terrible things to you at some point, so you're kind of hopeful their names don't come up once again. And as you're taking in the early dusk of it, there's the sound of the city beyond, that you notice that set on one of the stone kind of, railing that runs along the balcony here, someone has set a small egg holder, silver in color, with the kind of like slight tarnishing to it that suggests age, even in spite of fine care. And in that egg cup, there is a single jet black egg. And you are certain that you did not set that out there, and it is not the kind of thing that Dr. Caliburn would set out for you.
Took a good minute to stare at it to see if it does anything.
Nothing.
Well, tossing an abundance of caution to the wind, he'll go over and pick it up by the base.
Yep.
And bring it up to look at it and see if he recognizes it of some interest or...
You could give us an academics check if you'd like.
Okay. The paperweight...
It is a... No, it's not a paperweight. This is an actual... From the weight of it, this is an actual egg. A chicken's egg, but impossibly with a black shell to it. It's the kind of thing that fancy folk might wish to enjoy with their breakfast. You need only a small little... spoon to crack around the side to open up and then eat whatever is within.
How would Warlock feel about eating something like that? I mean, this screams black magic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He'll bring it inside, and then see if he can find Cygnus and Mind Warp.
Okay.
Because he's not gonna.
Cygnus you'll find in his lab, and Mind Warp you will find doom scrolling wherever he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wherever he's located.
He'll gather the two and say, "Hey guys, I think we got a response, maybe. Although I think I need to crack this egg, and I'm not sure what's going to happen."
Okay, so where did the egg come from?
Well, I went out to smoke, and I found it on the banister, the railings, and I didn't put it there.
Okay.
A resident keeper put it there. Did you put it there?
I didn't put it there.
Okay. Mind Warp?
No, of course not.
What you would know too, Warlock, is the wardings that you have on Ravenscrag. Both are things you've added in specifically with respect to the Wendigo and what Dr. Caliburn maintains in Ravenscrag. If someone was trying to send a magical message in here, it may not actually make it. So the fact that it was on the balcony, it may have been the nearest possible location for something to be delivered.
Well, I thought so. But just in case, opens a portal and pulls me through it, I mean, somebody has reflexes enough to catch me.
European black magic does often associate, satanic power to a black cockerel. So a black egg may be keeping in that same vein.
So if you guys will follow me, go back up to my study and put away the more sensitive books and just keep the one that thought would be good to trade. And we'll set the thing on the table, and I'll bring out my lighter for my cigar and just use the edge of it to crack the egg open.
Okay. The egg cracks, but does not fall apart. You can each give us a notice check as well, too, at -4.
Oh my gosh.
Effectively, you just need a raise on a notice check is all.
Right.
Nope.
Oh, wait. Did wrong.
Okay. Anyone want to penny that?
I would like to, yes.
Okay.
-4. Nope.
Okay.
Still not got it.
There we go.
Nice. So as it cracks, Cygnus, you are listening. It sounds hollow.
So there's nothing in there?
You have to. It's cracked. Now it's just a matter of like flecking away the things. Warlock, when you picked it up, it felt like it was a full egg. Like it has the heft. Eggs are not particularly heavy, but I mean, like you can tell the difference between an eggshell and an egg, and it felt like it was an egg.
Odd. You say something, Cygnus?
It sounds hollow.
Well, it shouldn't be. And then he'll reach over and kind of like try to open up the egg with his fingers.
It peels away quite easily. And I'm not sure what you were expecting necessarily, but in place of any kind of, cooked yolk or white inside, there is a hollow shell. While it is black on the outside, it has almost a disquieting, sickly yellow on the inside. And as it falls away, what you find is a single key within. Not something you would use for like a door or, starting a vehicle or something like that. The kind of thing you might use for a smaller container.
Okay.
And it's old as well. You guys can
reach
give us
in
a
and
common knowledge roll if you like. See if anyone recognizes what this might be.
thinking maybe a safety deposit box, but
It could be. Yeah. Safety deposit box and definitely something older. And with a raise from it, I think you would know definitely something in a European bank. It may take you a little bit of legwork to do that. Cygnus, with your... Oh, yeah, right, because you got Genius. You recognize it as well. This is a older bank, probably something from 19th century. And between
any markings on it that could tell us which one?
These typically are designed in such a way so as not to stand out.
Yeah.
If you are not the one who is to gain access to it. I think this is definitely something you could track down information about, or maybe scrying magics might give you some information about it.
You do that, and I'll run an internet image search.
Sounds good. What is it, Abercrombie? Got to be so vague. I mean,
there is also, when you crack it open, that same odor of brimstone. You are, of course, familiar with the aromatic sensation of hell.
oh yeah.
So,
Okay.
what would you guys like to do next? Cygnus, I thought I heard some internet search.
Yeah. Yeah, let me do a re-roll on that. So
What are you rolling for?
That's research. I don't have research, so it'd be unskipped, right?
Gotcha.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Let me just hold on. I'll get this out and make a note. Okay.
This is oh shit. Those are double ones.
Those are double ones. All right.
Hopefully you used a VPN. Please tell me you know enough to use a VPN. I'm a warlock. I know to use a VPN.
Really a shame we're not sponsored by NordVPN here.
Hello.
Perfect place for our plug.
Did you read the Vatican recently, or are you dealing with a demonologist? NordVPN could keep you safe.
NordVPN could really. Warlock, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking research as well, but more of the mystical sense, to see if I can locate what boxes is attuned to.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you give us a research check, please?
7. 7.
That's better. Okay. So you have narrowed it down to, I think, the box that you are looking for, Warlock, is likely something that was more characteristic in the Austro-Hungarian Empire than it was in the Western European banking system. So it is likely something in, Vienna or Wien, Budapest, maybe Prague, maybe. Prague is certainly a place with. Yeah, Prague, Vienna, and Budapest to a lesser degree, but those two certainly have long occult traditions, particularly Prague.
Like we're going all over Europe this week.
Oh, good night.
My work, what are you making of all this?
I feel like we're on a wild goose chase right now.
Yeah, right there with you, brother.
I'd rather run circles around a devil than, go right where he wants us to be.
I agree. I mean, probably the more sideways we come at this thing, maybe the safer we are. So
the question, I suppose, is, do you think that you have, who would know how to identify this stuff? Are bank robbers. Do you have any Eastern European bank robbers, or you might track down?
That's coming to mind, but that sounds...
Mechanically, what you guys could do is choose to give us a description of how you want to engage in networking, using persuasion or intimidation to try and track down information.
Go ahead.
Mind Warp made a crack about, in another life being a great thief. Maybe he knows somebody.
I think that's
another knife. That's another life, not this life. Unfortunately.
Well, most of the bank robbers that I would be familiar with are probably caught in prison.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. It's gonna. I would think it would actually be like one of those guys that got sentenced to like forever, because you're going to need somebody who's older to know about something like this. A guy who's 20 years old, he could be the greatest thief in the world, but he's not going to know about this because he wasn't dealing with it. You see what I'm saying? You need somebody who's older who might have actually seen one of these and or used one.
Not to cycle back to one of your other abandoned leads, but I believe you guys have recently become aware of a notorious gentleman thief. Auguste Emile Foucault?
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That is definitely someone who you could approach for it. They would likely know the circumstances, but Warlock, I agree that there is. So there are, we've talked about this before, but like anything that exists in DC, Marvel, Image, or whatnot, we can find an AirSats cognate in here. And there is one character that I really do love from. Oh, I didn't. Hold on here. Let me get the.
Is it Catwoman? She's a renowned burglar.
No, this is it's me you're talking about. This is going to be like a D-lister character who appeared in 5.
Kevin has very specific tastes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're technically D-listers, aren't we?
No, definitely not. So there's a DC character called the Fadeaway Man.
Oh.
Who is that? Yeah. He is a... Let's see here. So I think our equivalent would be... let me think here. So let me tell you who he is. In DC, who he is a character who has something called the Conjure Coke of Cagliostro. It is a device that you could use. Appreciate
the alliteration on that.
Yes.
I was like, when did Stan Lee start writing for DC?
Oh, this is yeah. Who I could tell you who created him actually. Hold on here.
Gardner Fox.
Len Wein and Rich Buckler.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of alliteration. So
yeah. Well, Len Wein, co-creator of Swamp Thing.
Oh, and a lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah, shit ton of other things as well too. Just that definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich Buckler's no fucking slouch either. Yeah, so what his thing is, he had the Conjure Cloak of Cagliostro, which would be invisibility, teleportation, and intangibility.
Ooh.
So I think it is a European, probably... let's say Spanish, who called himself Count Cagliostro. You did catch him in the same way. You may remember the first time we met Warlock was thwarting effectively an occult theft by a pack of trolls. This is someone similar. So you, Count Cagliostro is in prison at present, but you would need to do a networking role because he may not want to share that information with you, but you know for fucking sure he would know the answer to this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, instead of getting a hold of more, demonically related people, I'd rather just go basic criminal level at this point.
Yeah. And if you want to, because he's, I imagine he's quite charming as well. You can picture, like an aged Antonio Banderas in this thing. A criminal you just can't help but like. So
I'm just taking notes about the Count Cagliostro.
Cagliostro, yeah. The fadeaway mentor, if you do an image search, he's fucking ridiculous looking character. I love him. I've used him in a DC Adventures campaign as well. But so that is an option as well. So you have Count Cagliostro you could follow up with, or there is what's his name? Auguste Emile Foucault.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to go with Foucault, or do you want to risk on Cagliostro?
Do we know where he's at, I guess?
Cagliostro will be in custody in let's say Canada again. We'll keep him in. He'll be in prison in Toronto.
I think it'd be a lot easier to deal with that. I mean,
it'll be. Yeah. I think it's Hamilton is where the pen is, isn't it, Jeff?
I think so. Yeah.
Or is it Kingston? No, Kingston.
Kingston? Oh, yeah.
Kingston Penitentiary, yeah, which is right in the middle of downtown. So Kingston, Ontario, you could go to, and right near the American border.
At least it's somewhat local. We don't got to go back to Europe.
Yep.
There's that, and I mean, people here are going to know more who we are.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's. I'll go ahead and reach out to see if the Count wants to have a conversation. Maybe I can, offer some leeway on his sentence, get him out a little bit earlier if he helps us.
Okay. I mean, you have absolutely no legal authority to negotiate
that.
You'd be surprised how quickly the career criminal learns the legal system. So
I could just slip him a magical lockpick and have him break himself. No, I'm not going to do that.
Cagliostro is a thief, not a killer.
Lockpick, not.
Yeah. So no. What I'm saying is to justify you, if you're giving him that, he's not someone who is like, you're not letting a murderer out. You'd be letting a thief out.
Gotcha.
That's my point. Yeah. At least so far. So then, are you intending on using the nice way, persuasion, or the not so nice way, intimidation? And who is going to be going to this?
Let me choose the nice way, just because we're already on rocky footing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, is it just yourself, or is Cygnus and my work going to come as well?
They feel like their presence is needed, but I think I can go visit a criminal I once caught.
Yeah. We'll be nearby at any rate. If we're not necessarily right there, I'd like to be within a moment's distance.
The town of Kingston is kind of built around the pen as well, so you certainly could, be enjoying time in the city itself while Warlock is meeting with Cagliostro.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's what I'll do then.
Okay. And Cygnus, what about you? Well, go ahead, John.
I was going to ask you how difficult it would be to smuggle in that key.
Well, we'll have to see how. I guess what kind of key are you thinking of here?
Oh no, the one we were sent to for the strongbox.
Oh no, not easy. If you're going to meet him with you're not meeting. You're probably meeting him at like that kind of like glass panel separated thing. So, the key wouldn't be an issue of bringing it in.
Okay.
Like obvious weaponry and things like that would be stuff that you wouldn't be able to bring in. And you're not meeting with him in a place where you could pass him stuff either.
Okay.
Like that's what I was foreseeing. If you wanted to meet with him in person, that might be a little different. But
yeah, well, the first attempt, yeah, we could do that. So
yeah,
between glass.
And then Cygnus, what are you thinking?
Trying to think if there's anything specific I could do to help or not. He may actually go with Warlock just to maybe support him, maybe bad cop, good cop kind of thing might be useful.
Okay.
I think that's what Cygnus is going to do. Cygnus is actually going to go with Warlock.
Okay. So, the two of you will be heading into your meeting with him. Warlock, would you give us... you said it was a nice way. So give us a persuasion check, please.
I'll be good cop in this situation.
Oh, and if you are bribing, by the way, like if you're trying to give him anything, it would be +2 to networking. That's fucking amazing.
I was going to perhaps bribe him with a future placement of maybe a lockpick delivered magical means that he might find his way out with.
And you're intending on following through with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. That would be 17 then with that. So when you go in to meet him, you guys are set up. Is there any strategy you guys want to determine beforehand, or you just want to see how this goes?
I'm ready just to wing it.
Okay.
Figured you would.
So, Warlock, you are sitting there. Cygnus, you're sitting behind both of you in your civilian identities. I mean, Warlock, your civilian identity is not materially different from your secret identity, I guess, or your super identity. And you are sitting behind the... you've gone through the types of screenings that we would see. Cygnus, I think your watch gets scanned a couple of times, but it's handed back to you. You guys make your way in, and then he is brought out, and he's in the drab kind of jumpsuit, the navy blue jumpsuit, as characteristic for felons. And he makes his way over, or not to felon prisoners. He makes his way over and sees you, and gives a kind of walks over and sits down. This I was not expecting.
Warlock he'll be leaning back in his seat with his feet up on the counter with unlit cigar in his hand. He's like, "My old friend Count, how is the cage life treating you?"
Not good.
No.
No. Prison food is not good. Prison cells are not good. Prison beds are not good. And you, Mr. Stanton, how are things for you?
Things could be better.
Oh, it has been a rough day for you. Please, go on. And you see as he holds his hands up, he's manacled together.
I might be able to help you with that, but I need a favor from you.
Why don't you tell me how you could help me first?
You said the prison cells aren't that good, right? How small does something have to be to fit under a door or a window?
You think we have windows and doors?
Really? No windows or doors? This place is a nightmare. You do not deserve to be in here, my friend.
I would most certainly agree with you, Mr. Thornton.
Well, look around. How is it recorded in here with cameras?
There is, but
Okay.
this is where you guys could have planned ahead if Cygnus wanted to hack the cameras.
Yeah. So I kind of glance over at Cygnus and then look at one of the cameras to see if he can get my meaning.
Let me see. There is
A little bit of static interference when I...
What you could do, there is a, you would have to use super science to stunt the power to be able to sort of interface with those things.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was thinking would be a power stunt.
Yeah. So this, and it's actually again not a power stunt. It's using super science.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the one who misspoke. Well, so it wasn't. But we're on the same page. So why don't you give us a networking check? So maybe there's a turning of your wristwatch, or that hides your suit. And so be hacking.
Yeah.
And you get the best of 2 out of this.
Yeah, I do get that going on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
Oh my god. Unless Errol. All right. Let me just check. I'm going to check the way Genius is written. Because I was wondering when this comes up here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I hope we get another critical fumble.
Well, it's been a while.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it's a
former hero breaks.
It's a free reroll, but unfortunately the rerolls are trumped by. So it's not that you roll twice and take the better. You get a free reroll, so it all otherwise follows the rules for rolling dice, which means you can reroll unless you get.
And that's kind of what I thought too.
Let me ask you this: how is Cygnus feeling about having to activate? To basically hide you guys dealing with this criminal.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not that egotistic. I was thinking maybe he's upset that they didn't go talk to the other guy, but really it was his idea to talk to the guy that's local. How does he feel? I don't think he likes maybe what Warlock is trying to do, maybe, with breaking him out. I think he might have a little bit of an issue with that.
Okay. So
is there any physical manifestation of the thing not working? Or is it just
I remember I have a second fumble that's already banked in here.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. Is Cygnus hits that thing, and there's a tuk 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 tuk, and what you see is the little light that is on for this thing goes out. What you don't see is elsewhere in the prison, in the maximum security super prisoner part, there is a series of lights that all go out, and then as the doors open. So the Kingston Supermax, it's not a Supermax, we don't have Supermaxes in Canada, but the Kingston Penitentiary where some of Canada's premier supervillains are held. Cygnus has just hacked it
You shorted
and opened the doors for all of them.
Oh my god.
But at this
is why mine
moment,
works outside.
you guys are not aware of it yet.
But did the light in our room go out?
Cygnus, as far as you can tell, yeah, it's gone out.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not aware. Okay, so
Yeah, we don't know.
So you looked over and you look back at Count Cagliostro.
okay, so I look up. It's like it's dark. He pulls out his lighter and flicks the flame, so there's a little bit of light going on, and he says, "Well, this could be your chance." And then he pulls out the key and places it near the glass. You need to know where this goes.
He leans forward. And you could ensure my release.
Ensure is a strong word, but help? Certainly.
These are strong bonds. And it's that point you hear the first explosion from elsewhere in the thing. And he looks around. He looks back at you. As if he's like, you're telling the truth? Like, is that you? The two of you...
Can I do something narratively?
Sure. What are you?
I'm gonna roll a smarts check, and if I succeed, okay. So he's gonna give a shit-eating grin at him and raise an eyebrow.
Sure. So that is a what is it? A bluff? No. It is. Really wish they had a list of skills on the Marshall screen here.
I don't have bluff either way.
We've gone through this a bunch of times before. I think there isn't. It's a persuasion is your check. Give us another persuasion.
Yeah, I think
you know what?
Persuasion.
No, you've already got like 3 raises out of your roll. So yeah, he's like, wonderful. And he looks over at the guard and he tackles the guy to take him out. Cygnus, you would know that whatever that sound was is definitely not what you intended to do. And Mind Warp, what do you think you're doing? Kingston also has a nice campus, like university campus right in town too. So it's got kind of like a mixture of like working class and like college town vibe to it.
Yeah, and I mean, campuses is where I would probably feel most comfortable and probably blend in. I mean, being a professor,
Well, you're fairly. I think we've also established you're fairly like you've got a public identity, don't you? You're not. Yeah. So perhaps you're meeting with some folks in the bookstore, and this is when you hear a poof, the low explosion, and like the signature plume of smoke coming up from the direction of the penitentiary.
Yeah.
So.
Warlock completely thinks this is all part of Cygnus's doing. Like this is intentional. Nothing's going wrong.
So let's draw some cards. Let's get this, as they say, party started here. So let's see what's happening. Is that Joker? Look at that. Everyone gets a Benny. And Mind Warp, you get a +2. Ooh, and an ace for me.
Well, let's we'd be kind of reactionary anyways.
I guess first off, anyone want to spend a Benny to get new cards? We've got 10 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend one.
Okay.
I don't think I need to.
And that's
Oh, that's a club too.
Oh, this is standard combat, so it's not necessarily.
Okay, they're not
but yeah,
bad
I love
things.
that we've instilled a fear of clubs in you, though. That's really.
No, I like that mechanic.
Yeah, John, do you want another card, or are you good?
Nah, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay, so then Mind Warp, you are elsewhere, in town. You're talking to some maybe some science students at Kingston University.
I think that this is like just like how I have this public persona. People do know that I am Mind Warp, and I think I will be like, and I think that's my cue. And you can see he like pulls back his shirt and he's got like the suit on underneath.
Yeah.
And he'll take off.
And he's just gone. Okay.
Prison.
So you go racing. You're probably going to be able to reach the prison. If you spend a Benny, you'll be able to push your speed, so you would definitely be able to get like anywhere in the prison you'd like.
Yeah, I want to get to the site and see what's going on. You know, what in the world happened, right?
Yeah. So why don't you give us? Let me think here. Why don't you give us a notice check? This is to represent you, kind of like orienting yourself to wherever this is happening.
Like arriving on scene and figuring out what is going on.
That's good enough. Okay. So yeah, it seems as if there, for one, like there is a hole in a wall in the facility where there should not fucking be one. And let's see who is standing there.
I take no responsibility for this.
It was your idea.
Okay. Yes. Who is standing there is... Actually, why don't you give us a common knowledge roll, Mindwarp? Let's see if you identify who this person is.
See if I know who they are.
Yeah.
It's a well-orchestrated prison break that we had no part of.
Oh. No, not sure.
No idea. Okay. So what is... I'll have to find... Yeah, an image. Actually, I can snag... Yeah, I'll snag the one from the book. Basically, if you can picture in your mind... effectively Frankenstein's monster, but wearing, the things. The door is smashed open. He's standing there. He is, like 8.5 feet tall. And he kind of, it's him, and there's a couple other, assorted supervillains behind him that seem to be where they should not be. There's people screaming in the streets. There's people running. And then it's their turn. So
I was just going to say the one thing you probably see Mind Warp's mind is like, Bouclier? He's looking,
really?
Totally.
Okay. So, yeah, I have a picture for a suture golem.
Of course you do.
Was it Cygnus that got both the critical failures? Or was
Cygnus got...
Quit reminding him.
That's why things are going quite as bad as they are.
I just love how these things happen.
Oh, yeah, it's genuinely one of the things I love about this fucking game.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
This is maybe the best game ever made.
It's a really great...
Come on, look at this episode.
All right. So I think I don't have a illustration, but here's the one from that I'll load between now and next session from the...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, hold on. Can I get this in focus here?
It's pretty good on my end.
Doesn't want it. Here we go. So I think what he will do, having seen you, really, this is also the first issue of the second trade. So,
yep.
Excellent way. I am gonna spend a Benny to make a area attack against Mind Warp as he brings the wall down onto him. Now, hold on. Let me just see if you've got... so you have a couple of edges, super edges that...
that might matter here, yeah.
No, you don't. That is the versions of super speedsters that I built. So... Because you have different powers than what they do. Yours is not super speed, right? So
right, it's not exactly super speed. Yeah.
Oh boy! So as this thing is coming down on, you know what? We're going to start our next issue with me rolling damage on this. So the wall is coming down onto Mind Warp with the freed Frankenstein monster. Cygnus, do you think you're aware of what's happened here?
I would think he's relatively smart. He's probably putting 2 and 2 together right now.
Yeah.
You want me to make a smarts roll to see?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you give us a smarts roll?
We should lock down the prison immediately.
Is one success, is that enough?
One success is more than... Yeah, definitely. So what is Cygnus... Oh... Oh yeah, it's a smarts check, so it'd be 2.
Yeah, smart skills and smarts checks.
Yeah.
Yep, it's both. Yeah, I think he's kind of put 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh hell.
There is if you'd like, there's more information to be gained from a raise. Do you want to spend a Benny? Try and.
Okay, yeah. If I can get more from a raise, I'll go ahead and spend a Benny. That's what I was asking. Do I need just 1 success or not? Come on.
So something to follow up on for next session, but that is where we are. We're going to leave this session. So then, let's see here. We've got...
That was so much fun.
I like the final panel with like this wall coming down on Mind Warp, and he's like, "Bouclier."
Yeah. Okay, so Warlock, you are getting another advancement after this session, and everyone else is on their way towards their next issue. Cygnus and Mind Warp, you'll be going actually in Bouclier as well, for that matter. So there we are, guys. That was a hell of a fun start to our second trade paperback. Actually, I'll also leave your cards where
Great setup. We progressed the story. We stole from the freaking Vatican, and then we went to a more basic prison and screwed everything up.
Yeah. Well, then that is an excellent way to start our second year of The Guard. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for issue 13 of our ongoing Savage Supers campaign, The Guard. We will be back in 2 weeks' time to see what happens to our Great White North heroes. I'm sure Mind Warp could, slough off having an entire wall dropped on him. That was, Do you have conviction, Mind Warp?
I do not have conviction. No.
Oh, that's gonna smart then. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But until then, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to Savage Worlds games in general. I don't think we have one for the Guard as of yet, but we do talk about Savage Worlds stuff there, and we share. There's a ton of stuff there. If you're honestly interested in any Savage Worlds super stuff, at the beginning of last year, I did like 3 or 4 months worth of daily conversions of characters over into the Savage Worlds supers thing. So there's a ton of pre-gens you could peruse over there. There's also a bunch of other channels relating to the other games we run on the channel, our other campaigns, and then some other great ones like GM discussion or information about virtual tabletops. There's a really lovely community that's been built up over the years over there, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they do not have something in stock in their extensive collection of those hard-to-find games, you can put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. There is also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in a bunch of crisis areas at the time of recording. You can find more about them by following that link, and any donations that go through that link go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. We're going to be start kicking off our charity campaign or charity sessions for this year in a couple of weeks' time. But I'll be posting more information about the ways we intend to say thank you to donors over at the Charity Initiatives channel of the Dungeon Musing Discord server. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart heroes for joining us this morning. So, John, Will, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for getting up at such an ungodly hour when it is so ungodly cold outside in so many of our places. At the time of recording, we're having a crazy cold snap up in Canada, and there is snowmageddon about to hit the U.S., so wherever you are, I hope you're staying warm and not having to go outside for any reason.
Yeah, it's Canada, Oregon, Tennessee, everywhere.
Oh, my goodness. Yep. But we'll be back in the Great White North to see what happens to our heroes with this supervillain prison break. Will was asking for a non-magical thing, so here you go. Enjoy this. We'll be back then to see what happens next in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours, take your mind off the troubles of our world, and think about the troubles that our Great White North heroes are uncovering. And until we see you again, true believers, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.